Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. John Michael Lopez, age 19, of Winsboro, was on County Road 3368 west of Farm to Market Road 900 at 12:21 a.m., but looked suspicious to Hopkins County Deputy Amanda Weatherford. Communications reported that the 1998 Toyota that Lopez was driving on a Hopkins County back road was from out of the area. She stopped Lopez for suspicious activity. He was nervous and unsure of his destination when Weatherford began questioning his reason for being on the roadway. Lopez was asked for consent to search his vehicle. He refused. A canine was called and gave positive alert on the vehicle. A pipe with a crystal-like substance and a clear baggie with a crystal-like substance believed to be methamphetamine were located in the vehicle. Lopez is in Hopkins County Jail charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. Morgan Lane Brown, age 22, was available for a docket call Thursday morning at 9 a.m., but had to await a magistrate's hearing for a variety of misdemeanor charges due to an accident the night before. Brown is in Hopkins County Jail following the accident. He was to appear in 8th Judicial District Court for a pretrial hearing on the status of legal counsel for an indictment charge of abandoned endangered child with intent to return, a felony 2. Hopkins County deputies were called to a vehicle accident on a county road south of Como Wednesday, where they encountered a large number of traffic, motor vehicle, and individual violations by the male driver involved. Their investigation found that the subject, Brown, was aware that his license had been suspended, but he'd been driving in spite of that in a deliberate manner. It was also noted that the vehicle had been operated in a careless manner deemed to be unsafe speed due to surrounding circumstances, according to the deputy's report. Brown had also left the scene of the accident and drove the vehicle with a severely damaged tire that endangered others in the area. A few of the violations regarding the vehicle were present before the accident. He was operating the vehicle with an obstructed view as pieces of plexiglass secured by bungee cords act as a partial windshield for the vehicle. The improper windshield was also revealed to have windshield wipers that were broken and defective. The license plate on the vehicle was bent so that the plate was unreadable, and the current registration sticker for the vehicle was in the driver's back pocket. Brown was checked out by EMS before being taken into custody for numerous misdemeanor charges. In May of this year, Brown had been arrested for violation of probation for abandoned endangered child.
Ch.18 in Sulphur Springs, which stands for Shelter Agencies for Families in East Texas, has long offered assistance to victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. Now Ch.18 has a new advocate and caseworker. Let's meet Reagan Dennis.
Been interested, and I've gone to school for criminal justice and counseling and been interested in helping other people, and this job became available a few months ago, and I applied, got the job, and I really love it. I love being able to be in the area and helping people that need assistance in some kind of way, and we kind of have a lot of people in this area that need this kind of assistance.
It's largely women related.
Yes.
It's the work that you do as a caseworker. And so what does Ch.18 do?
Basically, our mission is to help women and men and children to escape from an environment of abuse. We believe that any kind of emotional, psychological, physical, sexual abuse violates people's rights as a human being, and so our goal is to help them to live in a more safe environment.
Okay. The ways that you help as an advocate is to make contact with the women who have come to Ch.18 in whatever ways that they reach out. Maybe it's through your hotline?
Yeah, we have a 24-hour-a-day hotline, and you can reach somebody on that 365 days a year. It doesn't matter. Anytime. You can call the middle of the night and somebody's going to answer the phone. And basically, you can just call. Sometimes people just need someone to talk to. You can call and talk to whoever answers on the hotline. During the day, it rings at our local office here in Sulphur Springs, and then after hours, it will ring at our shelter in Mount Pleasant. And we have people, sometimes they just want to call, other times they need to come into our office and become an official client, and they will fill out a lot of paperwork and do kind of intake paperwork for that. And so sometimes they call for that. Other times they need assistance with like somewhere to go, and so we will have them come to one of our offices, and then we can transport them to the shelter if they don't have a way to get there.
One of the hardest things for a caseworker who wants to reach out to these people who are needing help is getting them to want to help to break that cycle.
Yes. It's reported that a woman will leave her abuser up to 8 times before she leaves for good. So that's a very difficult process. You see these kinds of things, and it's hard to be like, are you crazy? Don't go back there. But, they have to want to do this. You can't force that on them, and we don't want to force anything on anybody because we want them to feel safe. And so basically it's just building a trust with them, and sometimes that means that you have to be okay with the fact that they're going to go back to their abuser and they might need your help again down the road. And so you kind of have to just make peace with that and do the best that you can and try to build that relationship with them.
Some of the other outreach services that Safety offers?
We will do help with legal aid, kind of. We can help you get, we work with Lone Star Legal Services to kind of help people who can't maybe afford an attorney. And we can help them get a divorce or protective orders. We will help them work with law enforcement, because sometimes they don't necessarily trust law enforcement. Mm-hmm. And then we can accompany them to court when they have court issues. And so we kind of try to be there in any kind of way that we can, legally speaking. And then we do counseling and support groups. Most of them occur in Mount Pleasant right now, but we are starting we have a domestic violence group here now, and we're kind of trying to build that back up because we kind of had some changeover and not as many people were coming for services. And we do kind of some educational programs and prevention programs. We do help with housing. Now, we are federally and state funded. We do get donations like from United Way and some area churches and stuff like that, but so we don't know how much money we're going to have every month. Sometimes we have money for deposit and first month's rent to get into a new place in an emergency. Other times we just have first month's rent and no deposit money, and then other times we just have it if you're already in a place but maybe you just can't pay your rent this month. And so we can help with that. We refer out to other resources like Can Help and Community Chest and places like that. We can help with trying to get them connected with Health and Human Services for any kind of public assistance they might need. So we try to kind of get them all the community resources that they can, because a lot of these people come with nothing, so they need as much assistance as possible.
Well, in talking about these issues, it mostly makes me think of mature women maybe who have a family started, but this could be the same thing for teens. It
could be teen dating violence is on the rise, it seems, lately. They just had a pretty widespread case where a teen was convicted of manslaughter for texting her boyfriend to convince him to commit suicide. And it's like 1 in 5 teens will experience violence in a dating relationship, whether that be with a same-sex partner or a partner of the opposite sex. And that's really dangerous. We need to get the word out to teens. A lot of our clients do happen to be, they're not necessarily teens, but they're young. They're in their early 20s and they come from homes like that, so they go to relationships like that.
I see. Safety service area is pretty extensive.
Yeah. We serve 8 counties. We serve here in Hopkins County, Delta, Lamar, Titus, Camp, Franklin, Morris, and Red River. Here in Sulphur Springs, mostly we deal with Hopkins and Delta, and sometimes we'll have people like outside of our general counties that will come. Like sometimes we have Rains County come, sometimes we have Hunt County, and that just depends on where they live and the availability of services closer to them. And whenever we have people that are closer to either Paris or Mount Pleasant, then we send them there unless they just insist upon coming to our office. So,
how long has Safety been active?
Since 1995, it was created, and our executive director was one of the founding members of Safety, and she's actually going to retire this year, is what we have heard. So,
who is that?
Her name is Carol Gresham. So she is a very nice lady, and I think she deserves to kind of retire and go hang out, And so it's been around for a while. In Sulphur Springs, I think that office in particular has been open close to 10 years or so.
Okay.
And but we had a period of time where we kind of changed out some people that were working there, so our client base wasn't what it was, but we're back to seeing 20 to 40 new clients a month.
Well, besides, let's say a person coming in for something that's already happened, afraid will happen, you're reaching out a little bit further than that,
yes,
to possibly a school age program.
We already have a program called Owning Up that's in the Mount Pleasant and Paris school, and I'm looking to bring it to an area school here in Hopkins County. And basically it's for 5th or 6th grade, and it's to teach them kind of respect for others, how to treat your friends, about not to be a bully, and how to own up when you are maybe acting in a way that's not respectful to other people, and kind of teach them as they're fixing to go into their teens on how to just grow into a respectful human being that can have safe, successful relationships.
What about those who might be experiencing bullying or
we do educational programs at schools, like assemblies and stuff on bullying. I'm hoping to maybe do a teen dating violence one, just because that's become so prevalent in the last few years, where it seems like you hear stories about that all the time. And so we can assist them, and we do have kids that come and their parents are clients of ours, and they will be experiencing bullying at school just because of their situation at home.
I see. Well, Safety is in Sulphur Springs on Gilmer Street.
Yes, we are located in the same building as Can Help, and we face Gilmer Street and on the side of the building where Can Help is, and we're there every Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and then we have people that are on call after hours to go out on calls for sexual assault or domestic violence out to the hospital if needed. Domestic violence calls, we don't always have to go out. It's just if the person would like an advocate to come be there with them. Sexual assault, the hospital calls us no matter what. And we go and we kind of assist them through the process, let them know what's going to happen.
Also help document along the way in this person's file.
Yeah, and basically, because most of the people that go in there, this has never happened to them before. They don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what's the process of the exam, or what's going to happen with the police and what they're going to have to say. And it's very traumatic, and they aren't wanting to have to repeat themselves or their story an extensive amount of time. So we try to kind of be there and be their voice and, comfort them and help them through the process to make it as easy as possible given the situation.
I think the services of Safe-T and you as an advocate can be helpful also to people in the radius of the person who may be experiencing abuse. This would be relatives of theirs who wish their loved one would just take the step.
Yeah, we do talk to people like ours. If we have a client, it's confidential unless they say we can discuss them with someone else. Even the police, we're not allowed to do so, but we have people call on behalf of their relative, or they'll even come with their relative, and it's trying, and they'll say, I'm gonna need help to get them convinced that they need to do this. And it's hard. It's hard to be that person seeing your loved one being hurt or in a bad situation, and all you want to do is help. And so that's kind of what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to really do some outreach and get some information out there so people know that we're here and that they can come here for help, and that they can send their loved ones to us for help, and that we're not going to do anything but give them assistance.
Safe-T stands for Shelter Agencies for Families in East Texas.
Yes.
Domestic violence and sexual assault, there's help for survivors and victims of these issues.
And we like to view them as survivors, because especially when they get out of the situation, because most people don't like that term, victim.
I want to thank you for coming in today, Reagan, and spending time with us about your new job as an advocate and caseworker for Safe-T, located in Sulphur Springs and Mount Pleasant and Paris as well.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, too.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
The Wildcats 7-on-7 football team has one last tournament to qualify for next weekend's 7-on-7 state championship tourney. Friday, the Wildcats will chase their dream at a Rowlett State Qualifier tournament. To qualify, the Wildcats must win their pool and one more game. 4 teams will be qualifying for state out of the 32-team field at Rowlett. The Wildcats pool will include Tyler Lee, Richardson Pierce, and Denison. The Wildcats will be attempting to become just the second Sulphur Springs team to qualify for the state 7-on-7 tournament. The Wildcats' 2008 7-on-7 team went to state the summer before. The entire football team won the 2008 state championship in December. Wildcats football offensive coordinator Matt Young says the team knows they have the ability to qualify, and he adds they are highly motivated. He says they hope to maintain the good rhythm that they had last Saturday as they won 2 and lost 1 in Tyler. If the Wildcats qualify Friday, they will have to do so without several of their best players. Coach Young says Simeon Taylor, Terrell Turman, and Jace Thompson will be unavailable due to family commitments on Friday. Coach Young says the Wildcats have depth and now will be depending on contributions from players such as Brady Krause, Kyle Alexander, Jamon Amos, Sebastian Adams, and Tyson Goodson. Top quarterbacks Ryan Humphreys and Corian Young will be throwing the ball. On defense, the Wildcats will be depending on linebackers Kalen Wade, Rio Becerra, Kaysen Churchman, and Hunter Smithson, and on defensive backs DJ Abram and Payson Edwards. Playing on both sides of the ball will be Cortavius Pruitt, Austin Dodd, and Kaysen Goodson. The Sulphur Springs ISD will be offering volleyball and soccer camps next week. Lady Cats volleyball coach Justin Manus is actually having 2 camps based on age groups. Both camps will be on Monday through Wednesday next week in the main high school gym. Volleyball camp for girls entering 4th through the 7th grade will take place from 9 a.m. until noon each day, and camp for girls entering 8th or 9th grade will be held from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. each day. Cost for either camp is $50. And Wildcat soccer coach Nicky Wiggins has his boys and girls soccer camp next week beginning Monday and running through Thursday. It's a nighttime camp, 6 to 8 p.m. in the multipurpose building. The camp is open for boys and girls entering kindergarten all the way through the 12th grade. Cost of soccer camp is $55. Coach Wiggins says he will be assisted by Lady Cats coach Jesus De Leon. Former Wildcat soccer great Tony Bravo is also expected to help out, along with some other former Wildcats. Former Wildcat soccer player and former Wildcat assistant soccer coach Colby Peak has been selected as the new head soccer coach at McKinney Boyd. Coach Peak has been at Mesquite Poteet since 2011 after leaving Sulphur Springs. A Peak-coached Mesquite Poteet team downed the Wildcats in a fourth-round playoff match in 2013. Coach Peak will be replacing former Wildcat player Casey Osborne at McKinney Boyd. Coach Osborne, who has coached at Boyd since 2011, is going to work full-time for a business firm, but is expected to continue to coach a club soccer team. Coach Osborne also coached at Mesquite Poteet before coming to McKinney Boyd. He also coached at Greenville for one season, defeating Sulphur Springs Wildcats in a playoff game in 2007. Coach Peak was an assistant at Sulphur Springs for former Wildcat coach Andy Holt, who himself won a state championship this season in his first season at Frisco Wakeland.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.